Hey, how's it going, guys? My name's Nick.
My name's Daria.
And we got
Emilio.
Okay, this week on The Fridge, we got a lot to talk about. A lot of cool stuff happened in music in Jersey and New York in the past week or so let's talk about it. First things first, Emily, you want to do an introduction?
On myself? Yeah, I mean, I do all kinds of stuff. You saw me over at FM, right? It's kind of like a good representation of what I do. Basically, I'm a bass player and I also produce music. Usually those worlds have been kind of separate traditionally. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to do more to bring it all together under one musical umbrella. Mm-hmm. And that show at FM where we met, that was like a good example of kind of the status of things right now. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I actually heard about the show through Amon. This is Sound and Color. Yep. So that happens in Jersey City a lot. You should definitely come out if you have the opportunity. It's a really good series. I think there's another one coming up soon. August 16th.
August 16th.
At the Pet Shop.
Yeah, so
hold on, wait, we got a lot to unpack already. Alright.
So what is the Sound of Color?
Alright, no, okay. So here's the deal. Like we said, I'm a bass player, I make music, right? But then, what was it, about a year ago, I just through friends, I hooked up with a couple people who have this series called Sound in Color. Right, if you go on Instagram, it's just Sound in Color _. And it kind of started as like, it didn't have that name, it was just kind of like a community of people who came together. Now it's getting a little bit more official, it's getting a little bit bigger, which is all good stuff. But yeah, we're doing, right now it's been like a monthly event, right? The next one coming up is August 16th at the Pet Shop in Jersey City. Okay. But basically the state of things is we're looking to expand the number of shows we do, just because there's a lot of people around who are doing really incredible things. And we're just, every show that we do has been awesome. Like that show at FM. Yeah, right? Good artists throughout there. But that was the second show we did on that block that week.
Nice. Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And it was a lot of people.
So we did, get this, we did Pet Shop on Tuesday, which was its usual madness, right? Which was great. Then we had the 4th of July. And I was like kind of concerned. I was like, maybe people are going to be partied up. Right. Wow. Then the FM show where we met up was actually better. Yeah. There was more people, more stuff, more art. So, that's just kind of, like the proof is in the pudding. That's like, once I saw that, I was like, all right, we're definitely taking this in the right direction and trying to just expand the thing. Yeah, definitely. Because like I said, there's a cool community of people, and there's something that I think is kind of special happening right now that you can't make that happen if you want to force it. You just need like the right people, right place, right time, and it just seems like that's all there. So yeah, that's kind of the state of Sound and Color. Is we're just trying to grow the thing and reach out to new venues. Just get as much happening as possible.
That's _ Sound in Color.
Sound in Color _
Sound in Color _.
Correct.
I'll put that. I guess we'll put this in there.
Yeah, you'll put it in your show notes. Yeah.
So, who do you think is like one of the more exciting artists that are coming out in this group that you're really excited about?
Oh man, well there's like, it's kind of like it's an interesting variety of people who are involved. Some people who are newer, right? Some people who have been kind of doing it for a minute. Like one of the guys who's associated with this, who just had a release, was Brain Orchestra, who's great. Oh yeah, definitely. We were just at the release party on, what was that, on Friday?
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah, for his new vinyl.
Yeah. And that was the night there was a blood moon too.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, he was like, we're opening gates. I was like, no. But the music is really good. Everybody should check that out. There's a physical copy. I think he has the clear and he has the white copies. Everything was really nice. The artwork was done by Indie Glow. It's an artist that used to be in Jersey, just moved to Texas. She's working really hard. So I really like that event. I came through a little late.
Yeah, I kind of feel a little like we're trying to work out now how we're gonna represent everybody involved with this thing, because there's a lot of guys, a lot of talent. Like Brain was just on my mind because I was just at the show 2 days ago. But yeah, there's just like there's a lot of dudes who are doing interesting things, like both like DJ people or like people who do more production stuff, or people who are more in like bands, like my buddy Tim Urbach has a band called Din.
Mhm.
That's have you seen them play yet?
I'm not sure. Did they play at the show?
They played it. They were at FM.
Yeah, I think they were really interesting.
Yeah, they get wild, man. Like, and actually the keyboard player in that band, Andrew, he's like a wizard. He can rip. He has a project called Sundrop. You know, that's doing great things. That's really different than what Din does.
Yeah.
So like I said, this is just a few names of people. Like, you know, just people who have been on my mind because I like bumped into him the other day or whatever. But there's like a bunch of dudes. You know, there's Jose. He goes by Good Food. He like big fan of him. You know, Jamar Jacobs.
I went to his class, Ableton class. Yeah, the one.
Oh, Jamar's. Yeah. How was that?
It was pretty interesting. It was cool. There was a couple people out there, and like he had like a projector. He had his whole like MIDI setup.
Perfect.
Everything, and it was pretty interesting. It was good to see like a community of people trying to learn and like work out something like that.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what the whole idea behind the Sound and Color thing is. It's not like
it's not supposed to be static. It's supposed to help people like evolve.
Yeah, well, it's about like a community. It started as a community of people first before there was even a name, and then once things were really like it was like consistently good. We started saying like,
you should invite people.
well, no, we were just like, we should think of a name for this. We have something. Like,
something's happening here.
Yeah, but it was kind of just this loose thing. So you know, it's said hopefully destined for good places. You know? It certainly feels so. The shows all feel really good. You know, and the kind of people that are attracted to it are people that I like hanging out with. So, you know, we're doing everything we can to just
the level of talent too is like
that's what I mean.
Yeah, I walked in, I was like, oh god, everybody here is. And every set, I was just like surprised at how like different it was, really amazing. And even when like it would like even like when things would start, I'd be like, okay, cool, what is this going to be about? And like it would just keep like taking it to new levels on each song.
Okay. So is this like a collective of people who like make experimental art, I guess? Or I mean, I've seen a lot of I've scrolled through your Instagram. Yeah. And it's like a lot of visual sound art. So is that's part of it? I mean, is that what's going on?
I wouldn't say it's all experimental because that kind of I would call my music experimental for sure, but I don't want to speak for any of the other people because like you know there's some people who are I don't want to you know put labels on people like that.
No, but this whole show idea, it sounds Sound and Color sounds like a really incredible experience. Like sounds
that's exactly what it is.
It's just like an experience rather.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering if it was like because I just had saw on your Instagram that you had a lot of those visual backdrops. If that was like a consistent theme throughout the show. I mean, just Sound and Color.
Yeah, I mean, some dudes are a little bit more visual heavy. Like, like the FM show, I wasn't doing visuals. Often I do. That's certainly part. But really, like, kind of if there's a theme to the whole thing, is we just want an experience where people can be a part of this big creative community.
All right, cool.
Because the creative side is definitely something that you could say applies to everybody. Whatever they're doing something kind of different. Whether that's you know making house music or you know playing in a band and writing songs or like whatever it is that each one of these respective people do. There's something that's kind of different about each of them. So
I have to definitely check this out. August 16th is the next.
August 16th at the Pet Shop in Jersey City.
Jersey City.
Yeah.
You've been to any good shows this week?
Have I gone to any good shows? Yeah. Unfortunately not. I mean, the last one that Dan and I had gone to was the open mic back at Chamber 43.
Yeah, cool. How was it?
Jerome was on, Jay Gatsby. That was great. It was surprisingly packed. Yeah, a lot of people were coming in. A lot of people had sort of wandered in, like they were just like, "Oh, what's going on here?" And like, it was just a good time overall. We had a producer, DJ Adriatic, who was on. He was really good. Who else? G-Tan played. Shout out G-Tan. And there was I can't remember. There's one guy from like Seattle. And he was fine, but I can't remember his name. I feel bad. I'll shout him out later. No, that was a couple of weeks ago. Haven't gone to any shows since.
I haven't gone to anything since, I mean, the Brand Orchestra release, like,
Yeah.
for the metal had, like, other performers there as well. So do you remember who else played on it?
Yeah, I mean, Jamar was playing on it.
Yeah.
Jamar Jacobs and Good Food was on it as
Oh,
well.
okay, yeah.
And then also Nothing New from out Brooklyn guy came.
Oh, okay.
And Sum Total, another dude doing fantastic things.
Okay.
So yeah, the bill on that show was like a lot of my favorite dudes who were around doing something.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's on like, especially on like the production side of things, they're making cool music, I think.
Yeah. I think like shows, this is the perfect place to like put out like new music or just test new music. Like I've been like recording stuff or like doing things recently. I have a show coming up on this Friday, so August 3rd, I believe. And I love like slipping stuff in, just to see like how it works. Yeah. I'm gonna be down the road. I'm gonna be at Barca.
Barca?
Yeah, Barca Friday.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm excited about that. But like, there's a lot of like new music that I definitely have to download before I start like going in. What like release this week do you think is like a big song you have to play?
I mean, I mean, just in general, I think you have to play all those Childish Gambino tracks we haven't really talked about.
Oh, yeah,
those
Summer Pack?
That Summer Pack, Summer Pack, Loud Pack.
Yeah, definitely.
Those songs are gonna be hits. Sounded like.
This didn't come out this week,
Yeah.
but one thing that like is maybe a little bit more underground than it should be is I've been digging into the Kalela stuff a lot.
Right.
Kalela's
awesome. Oh my god.
Yeah, Kalela's really good.
I mean, that album came out earlier in the year, but I was just like,
This
should be no, but I'm like, this should be around more.
Right.
Like for how good that thing is. Like, plus the video is just like bonkers, man. Like the whole. So I was like, man, that's like next time I do just a set where I'm DJing, like
you have to put
that guy's gonna get that's a banger for sure.
You have to Charlie XCX. I've been like I turned into like a huge Charlie XCX fan over the course of like the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And Pop 2 released at the end of 2017, like December 2017. That shit is something that you guys need to like visit or like look into. Shit's got bangers. She's this like indie pop artist from UK. She's been on a bunch of like rap songs with like Danny Brown, and like Cupcake.
Cupcake's so fun.
Yeah. But she herself just like, you know, she usually does like this like indie pop, dream pop, I'm not pop punk, I don't know, like type of thing.
Yeah.
She recently released like a trap rap song called 5 in the Morning. And it is a really excellent track. Like I listened to that and I'm like, holy shit, Charlie XCX is like a genius. Like
I gotta check this out.
No, she's really
I
fucking
need to
good.
get into it. Sounds cool.
No, but for sure, I want to like talk about some of your influence, sort of to let the audience know.
Sure.
What
we can get into that.
What's going on with your sort of breadth of work.
Okay.
So I mean, I guess what have you been listening to? Like.
Oh man.
I mean, you mentioned Kalela. That's one.
Yeah. I mean, my listening is all over the place, dude. I know everybody says that, but I mean, because of my background, I grab from a lot of different things. 'Cause I don't know, like, I know Nick knows a little bit about, like, we just talked a little bit at the gig, you know, but basically, my deal is, you know, I went to a lot of music school. I did the whole, like, classical training thing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Mason Gross here down the road. Then I went up and I did a master's degree at the University of Hartford.
Okay.
So I did one degree in jazz music, jazz performance, and then another one in classical music. And I just thought that would be a good way to like round myself out and kind of just, you know, make my brain bigger. That kind of, you know, just suck up as much of that knowledge as I could.
Right.
And also, like, I'm a bass player, so you know, both of those musics have, you know, a long, rich tradition of things to pull from, right? So I was like, okay, if I want to be a bass guy, I should probably get into this stuff. Did that. Then after I finished all that school, I started working with the Lucerne Festival in Switzerland. So I was back in, they have this festival academy. It's like a summer program, so I got into that, did the whole thing there. And then I did another project with them that was like this, it was this crazy like tech music project with a bunch of people from MIT. So I was like going back and forth for a minute, and that was like very experimental, very like, yeah, that project was wild. So like I come from that kind of background, like playing in orchestras and like, you know, like music school and all this like formal stuff. But then also in college, I was, you know, obsessed with like Aphex Twin and, you know, those like Audiker and those kinds of people. But then also, you know, listening to like Wu-Tang and like that kind of stuff. So all this stuff is kind of swirling around in my brain.
I mean, it's weird how you can like, I don't know if you're like familiar with like Tim Hecker or any.
Oh, I saw him live in Berlin.
Yeah, okay. So like, it's weird how like, I don't know, sometimes I'll be like listening to a Future track and then the next track will be like Love Streams. And then just like, why is this the same to me? Like, why does this all like fit so well? And just, I don't know, it has to be something about just living in the 21st century where you're just like, you can pull from anything and everything on the internet. Where you can be like that, where you're listening to classical music 1 second and then Wu-Tang the next.
Yeah, well, I think also a lot of it, some of it just had to do with like the people that I was around, like, because I was like doing, like, especially in college, like I was doing the music school thing. But then you go back to the dorm and people are listening to like everything.
Right.
But then also when I was in school, like that was kind of when a lot of like the downloading stuff was happening. Napster was like a little before college.
Okay.
But it was still like in my dorm, I forget how iTunes was at the time, but you could like see everybody else's stuff, like who was on that network. So you could just go and like listen to other people's music.
This happened in iTunes? Like this was an iTunes feature?
I forget how there was some.
You remember this?
iTunes Social.
You remember this? So I went to college. This is like maybe 2006, 2007.
Really, I remember that.
You remember that word? Okay, somebody's got me.
Okay.
Somebody's got me.
Confirmed.
But I remember being on my computer. I go into iTunes with all this stuff that I downloaded. But then I was like, it had this thing that said like shared computers.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, oh, what's this? So I clicked on it, and then I would just see like everybody else's music.
Nice.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Okay. Yes. So I was like, what is this? Like, and it blew my mind because I was like, wait, I don't have to wait to download this stuff. I could just like listen to it right now. Right, and then, you know, fast forward 10 years, you have streaming and Spotify and all that stuff. So, I think it's just like the times we live in. It's so much easier to just like connect to other things. Because you think about it, like I talk to people like my parents' age, right? And they talk about like how music, getting a recording of something used to be a pain in the ass. Like you had to take it Saturday and go look for stuff. Like it's just not like that anymore. The level of access is so crazy. So I think that's why, you know, people are in general are just listening to more stuff and like jumping around more. Because you don't want to take a chance.
And like I feel like I'm constantly surprised when an artist does something that's like outside of their like quote unquote genre. Like whenever like when Drake was coming up as like a rap artist and he started to make like really good pop hits, people started to become surprised. I don't think we should be so surprised anymore when like Charlie XCX makes a good trap rap song about like balling out and getting like I don't know, like a shit ton of money and like iced out diamonds. Like when she makes a song like that, I don't feel like I should be surprised, but I'm constantly still surprised. And I know like I shouldn't be because we have access to all of this, and it's got to like, you know, as like a musician, you gotta like be listening to all of this music, and like it just enriches your output.
How do you feel about like the medium that you release on? Like, have you ever done like physical releases, and like, or do you prefer doing digital stuff?
No, I mean, I'm kind of conflicted about that, you know, because like on one hand, it is nice to walk, like if you go to a show, it's nice to have something to give somebody. Right. It's nice to have something to bring home, right? And then you put it on the shelf and you can like show people, and it reminds you of the experience. Like that stuff is cool. But that being said, like the music I just put out is just all digital. It's like Bandcamp and Spotify, and maybe one day I could do a physical release. Maybe not. Like we'll see what happens. I'll be honest with you. Like I'm 30 years old right now. Most of my 20s were spent working on stuff that was like for live performance, you know, or maybe there was recordings that went out to wherever it did, but like that's why I'm focusing on more of that now in terms of like building up a catalog, because I spent so much time just like doing live hits with people, and you know like there's a certain like that's great. I love playing live. It's you know an awesome thing to do that I'm not trying to get out of, but like yeah, I think I spent a lot of time just doing stuff that you know you play the last note and then it sits in the room and then everybody goes home and that's it, you know. So that's kind of yeah, like just building up the catalog and like figuring out these things like how do I want to release this, or like another one that comes up a lot with the digital thing is like, do you do a record or you just do like a couple EPs, or a couple singles, or you know. I'm trying to right now. I'm trying to put out stuff that's like kind of shorter but more often. You know, just one because I think it's good to remind people that you exist. You know, like the part of yeah. But like part of it is that, and then also part of it is it's an excuse to invest in more visual art, which is a priority for me now. I want to be working with more visual artists for sure. So, like if you're releasing more singles or short EPs. It's just more excuses to go out and be like, no, you're just like, I want to connect with more visual artists and be like, hey, do you dig this music? Like, I need some artwork. Let's do it. Do you want to do something that will be presented with this? You know, I've connected with a couple good people this year that way.
Who are the visual artists you think are like popping right now?
Oh, I mean the guy. So I just put out some short EP under the Hot Wobble moniker. I don't think we talked about that yet. So I have an electronic project called Hot Wobble, which is a silly, ridiculous name, and that's exactly why I picked it.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of bass stuff.
Yeah, it's
Hot Wobble.
The name comes from a synth-based preset.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
If you put that into Google, you just get nothing but booty videos for like, which I'm totally all right with too. But we're trying to change that a little bit.
Search engine optimization.
Right. It's kind of silly.
How do you overwhelm the Hot Wobble?
The funny part is I didn't even think of it like that. I just saw this goofy synth preset and I was like, Hot Wobble. All right. Yeah.
I think I might have seen. What is that on?
What's that?
What's Hot Wobble on? I feel like I've seen a Hot Wobble before. Or maybe it was like an imitator on somebody else.
Could have been something like that. But anyway, I have this electronic project called Hot Wobble. We just put out. It was me and another local guy by Bob Botanist. He I got lucky with that one. He happened to just like live in my neighborhood.
Oh wow, you just like found him.
And I was like, hey, you're pretty cool. You want to do some stuff? And then it turned into a project. It was a beautiful thing. But so yeah, it's just 3 tracks, and then I started working with this dude Kenny Christian, who's a fantastic animator and visual artist. So he actually, I haven't put this out yet. I put the music out first. That's all on Spotify and everywhere. But Kenny did a full animated video for me, which is going to be the next. Yeah, cool. I just got it back like a couple days ago, and I was like,
I'm so excited.
This is not so. Yeah, Kenny's a guy. He did one piece of single art for me, and I liked it. He did animations for a bunch of the shows that I was doing like earlier in the year. Just stuff that would run behind the music. Smashed it every time, and then I was like, "Yo, you should do like a real video for me."
Yeah. Right.
So we talked. I said, "What do you need? You know, what do I need?" But we went back and forth. We worked some out. So I'm sitting on that. I'm trying to think about how I want to premiere it and all these kinds of things. Again, like. This questions around the medium of like, all right, is this going to be like, you know, like a website thing? Is it going to go everywhere, like on YouTube and all that? So I'm still working on that part of it. Cool. But but again, that's just like another excuse to be like, hey, like let's get more visual art people involved in this. You know, like in the future, I would love. There's 1 or 2 filmmakers who I'd like to do something with. Then there's a couple dancers actually that I'd like to get involved.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, like I've done a lot of stuff like playing bass for contemporary dance kind of performances. I've written a little bit of electronic music for stuff, but like working with those kind of people is always really rewarding because it influences you in a different way, and it gets you to come up with sounds that you might not say to things right now. You know, like I got this new electronic project, and I'm just trying to build up that catalog, both in terms of the music and the artwork, and even videos and that kind of stuff. So,
no,
yeah. Word.
what else has happened in this past week? We want to go over.
So, Childish Gambino with his 2 songs.
Yeah.
Chance the Rapper with a little.
Oh yeah, we were playing that for
surprise.
I didn't even realize that was Jamie Foxx with the sample
Oh really?
on the first track.
On the.
M.I.A. Security.
Oh my god, that was him.
His voice is really good. Jamie Foxx is sleeping.
He's a talented man.
Yeah,
he can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx is a talented man. Apparently, he didn't want Gold Digger to come out because he thought that song was garbage.
I thought that was Kanye. Did they both?
No,
equally
Kanye
hate the song?
No, I mean probably. I think they both equally hated the song.
But I've heard about Kanye hate. I've never heard about
Mm.
Jamie Foxx.
Interesting.
No. I think I remember watching a fucking Rap Genius little interview where Jamie Foxx was like, "Yeah, I hated that song. I hoped it never came out." And then it came out and it became #1, and I was like, "I love that song." That's what. Damn, Jamie Foxx is on that.
Yeah.
Do you think these songs? I mean, I don't think those songs are gonna be like. They didn't sound album ready for Chance the Rapper.
They weren't. They weren't an ascension. I mean, in my opinion, I just like when Chance talks crazy.
Yeah,
I like when he's not being nice.
No, yeah, I think.
But apart from that, I mean, I
Right.
think they were like musically.
Yeah, I didn't think it was like musically anything like that made me want to.
I mean, it was still a hit. It was still him. It wasn't a letdown.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. He just wasn't pushing the envelope.
Right, no, he wasn't.
He was just
pushing
doing his
envelope.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because Chance he's got a pretty high bar for himself, and
Mm.
anytime he doesn't
Yeah.
push it, I felt.
I want to hear Gambino like rap as much as possible. I like that he came out with.
Do you think he's gonna be rapping anymore?
I thought he had one more in him. I thought he had one more album.
I mean,
he definitely has more albums.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, the last one was like a huge transition. I mean, I feel like it's cool to just give us that one just so we have it for the when we're counting up stuff at the end of time. But like, I feel like he can come back and rap again one more time. You know, like this is as a fan of him rapping.
Maybe like on a feature, maybe I would think.
Oh, you really don't think he's coming
I don't think on an album. No. If Chance or Childish Gambino is gonna put out an album, it's gonna be like non-genre, like genre-less pop sing.
That's fair.
I want to see more of that kind of shit in general, man.
Same.
Just people like, it gets annoying when somebody. It's like what we were talking about earlier, where it's just like, well, you do this, and this is your little bucket, and you're gonna live there, and like that's what you do now. And then if they deviate, people get all like, oh, what are you doing? Yeah, I mean, I'm all for seeing stuff just like people change it up,
Right.
like, a lot of my favorite groups, just thinking about it, like they maybe upset some fans because they change it up on every album, but personally that's what makes me a fan of an artist rather than like there's some albums that I'm a fan of, but I'm not really a fan of like the artist. That said, most of the artists that I'm a fan of, it's because they change every album or every release, whatever it is, and I consistently like what they do. You know, like, I'm trying to think of an example, like, Massive Attack is a good place to go for that. I feel like all their albums, like, they have their thing, but they change it up enough where I'm like, yeah, you know.
Right. No, there's always something about an artist who causes and stirs controversy, or at least artistic controversy.
Yeah,
And that's something that draws me in. I mean, personally, like, somebody who's done that really well, like, this whole genre-less idea was Janelle Monáe. I think that she probably had one of the like best albums that did that, where she just really like went through every single genre.
What about the internet?
I haven't listened to the internet yet.
Really?
No, I have not. Is that?
I feel as if I don't know. I'm very hazy on when I listen to music at work, so I'm pretty sure I listened to it, but I'm not positive. I feel as if it was like very like nebulous and wasn't really like one thing. I mean, I feel like that's just their normal like, type of thing. But are you planning on it?
Oh yeah, no. I'm planning on it. I've just, I mean, like once again, like I've just been listening to so much indie pop.
You just been indie pop overload.
Literally overload. I'm preparing for like the Mitski release that's gonna come out in a couple weeks.
You listening?
Yeah.
I love Mitski, dude.
Really?
I went to a Mitski show and I said I love you, Mitski, and she said I love you back.
Oh my gosh, it sounds
So
like
now
you're
you're
getting
besties,
serious.
is that what you're saying?
I mean, she's tweeted at me before, and like I've like tweeted.
So you guys are going out?
Yeah. You
Basically.
got this, man. Yeah.
I mean, she put out a song that just like Nobody, where she just like screamed Nobody for like a minute and a half because she thinks nobody.
So when does your song come out? That's what I really want to know.
I love her.
When does she
When
put
is
it out
the-
just
when's
for
the
you?
ballad?
When will it be reciprocated? It's coming out. It's coming out. Oh my god.
I mean, you're tweeting at each other. It's only a matter of time, right?
Wait, did we talk about Lil Miquela as a boyfriend already?
Okay.
He had a crush on this.
Do you know Lil Miquela?
No.
Oh my god. I wish
Yeah,
I had
get
my
into this,
phone.
man.
I wish I had my phone right now, but okay.
It's better, I think, you did.
I'll
look at it. I'll look at it. But you can keep
so
on
Lil
saying.
Fill me in while he's doing
So
that.
okay, let me give you the backstory of Lil Miquela because I found out a little bit more about this. So there's this intelligence company called Kane Intelligence, and they're
Oh, I forgot this guy named
Kane.
like no like
You're not allowed to spell their name on camera.
like the market Kane, that type of Kane.
Okay.
How do you spell the name of Kane? Is it Q?
Quuela.
Oh, that makes sense.
So there's this AI company. They're making this robot. And they allegedly said that it would be for like therapeutic, like loving, whatever nature.
Wait, this is taking.
This
is a long story.
This
No,
is a
wait,
long
no,
story.
no. He has a crush on a.
I'm telling you.
Wait,
I'm telling
I
you.
don't know where we're going.
I like the short story way better.
Okay. So.
He had a crush on a computer-generated influencer.
Oh,
That is the long story that he was trying to get into.
I was trying to give you the whole story.
And now she has a
that's some
boyfriend.
dystopian shit,
I was trying to
man.
give you the whole story, dude.
But in your defense,
Wait.
she's
She looks
pretty
real.
cute.
That's made from a computer?
Yeah.
Yeah, she just has like hella swag.
All right, can I give you the real story? So let me give you the story. So
Is this a Jeep? Is this an old school Jeep? They can just computer generate whatever they want.
Oh no,
Things are going on.
this is like uncanny valley shit though,
Yeah.
man. This is like it's just real enough to look creepy.
That's what I'm saying.
You're
Dude.
just like, wait.
There's a really creepy.
Look at this
story.
guy. He doesn't deserve her.
Oh,
That's
yo.
her. Yeah, that's her boyfriend.
Yeah.
She's taken.
Oh, what
My
the
heart's
fuck?
broken.
That's the male version of her. So she is kind of he's a fun
My
boy.
heart's broken.
It happens. And then like they put her next to real people and you're like,
That's what I'm saying. It's like just off enough where you're like, oh.
No,
what?
because she's been in like advertisements for like Balmain and like
Mhm.
all these like off-white like designer brands. Like she's been on their Instagrams like selling
Right.
their
that
shit.
tummy
for-
tea. Is
Yeah,
that
like, it's just. I mean, yeah, no, she's definitely something.
that happened? You said it was an intelligence company tried to make an AI. It got out of hand.
So they recruited these developers who would become Lil Miquela's like creators,
Right.
to like help them create this therapeutic AI robot.
Okay.
right? And it would help people like love themselves and
Mhm.
like, make them feel good about themselves. Turns out it was a sex robot who felt pain.
Turns out, or it ended up being.
Turns out.
Somebody was like, we could make way more money with sexual.
No, and the
That was touchy feely bullshit.
That's the bottom line.
if you go onto
Terrible.
if you go onto Kane Intelligence's website, like
Yeah.
they're like Trump supporters.
Oh.
So this is
no,
weird.
you can't hook up with a conservative.
So they saved this AI robot
Yeah.
from Kane Intelligence, reprogrammed her to make her into like this IT girl singer. She's also an artist. She has music out on Spotify.
Does she produce her own stuff?
Yeah, I guess. So she has all this music out, and they rewired her so she doesn't remember any of her dark past. And now she's beefing with her developers because she found out about her dark past that they wouldn't tell her about. And she was like beefing with them for like a few months.
Oh, what?
Dude,
What?
that's just a story.
What?
That's just the story. Like, let that sink in.
That guy. Ooh.
This story is weird. This is one of like, Lil Miquela is
I feel
one
like
of,
she might be more trouble than
That's
she did.
so dark.
Lil Miquela is the artist that we need to be looking out for. Like, she may be like the next.
That's the bizarrest thing I've heard all week.
No, because if you like look onto her, scour the internet, you'll find evidence of all of this.
You have to support virtual women of color.
This sounds like a.
I
Did
mean,
you know? No, that's so weird, man. That sounds like it could be like some tinfoil hat shit, like conspiracy
it
shit.
It is. Not denying that.
Did you hear about the
Yeah.
guy who like made he said that like dark skinned women were like in like fashion, so he like made like a computer generated dark skin model instead of paying an actual woman.
Damn people.
This whole thing is just who gave them computers?
Who gave them computers? No, yeah.
Did you hear about the the Yeah, the legalization of the computer-generated guns, like your 3D printed guns.
Oh,
Did anybody else
That's
hear about
illegal?
that?
I know about 3D printing. But
I know about guns.
Yeah.
I know about laws, but I've never heard about all that together. No.
Wait, so I had seen the video of.
Did you see something about it? I never.
Gun.
Yeah,
I'd seen the video and then just been like, we're fucked.
Yeah. You can really do anything you want.
Right.
I don't know too much about guns. I don't know like what parts you need to like know.
I think you can probably 3D print all of them. I'm not like a whole gun enthusiast or anything like that, but
Yo, what if someone hit you with the plastic? Yo, what to your plastic?
But well, so what they said? They said that it was legal
Yeah, with
to
the plastic.
3D print a gun. Is
Yeah,
that what happened?
I mean, no. Honestly, this is a super hot take. I just remember seeing the title. I don't know which
I don't
it could
know.
be that they're outlawing it.
Yeah.
I know that it came up this week.
Yeah.
What do you think the stance is? Where should you be stopped when it comes to 3D printed shit? And how do you regulate that if somebody's just in their house?
Ooh.
You 3D print a 3D printer and then you use that to 3D print everything else. It's untraceable, completely untraceable.
it's unenforceable. You can't enforce
Exactly, you're gonna tell me that I can't have this
That's a little convoluted. 3D printing a 3D printer. Really?
Okay, fine. Well, I'm just trying to cover our tracks here. I'm just trying to
No, but
make sure they can't get the ID number off the 3D printer.
Wait, have you ever heard of kombucha?
What?
It's not a food. You're going way out here.
I learned about kombucha the other day.
Which is delicious. It's a refreshing beverage.
What's it?
It's
I want a juice.
You
So
can
bad.
3D print a kombucha. Like the whole aspect of 3D printing a 3D printer is the same as kombucha ink, a kombucha.
Wait, what are you talking about? I'm thinking about kombucha the drink.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
kombucha?
it is a drink. So,
I know.
So
It's
in order
delicious.
to
Come on,
prepare,
man, what is
in
going
order
on?
to prepare it, you have to like put this vinegar and water and salt like mixture, and you put it in a dark place, and it like creates this bacteria, and
Okay.
it turns into SCOBY.
Okay.
And then the SCOBY is what you put into the drink,
Yeah.
and the drink is kombucha.
Yeah.
But every time you drink a kombucha, the SCOBY creates another SCOBY. For
Where?
you to,
Inside your stomach?
no, inside the drink for you to use for your next kombucha drink. So the SCOBY keeps replicating itself over and over again. For your-
SCOBY produces kombucha, and
Mhm.
kombucha is what is
Yeah, it's
used
like
to
back.
caffeine or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
So every time
I
you
mean,
take a sip of kombucha, you're
but
like,
like-
it's alive. Right.
Yeah,
it
that's bad.
really is. It really is. But I think that's all we have really time for.
That's a
tonight.
wild. That's a wild
Yeah.
kombucha.
Yeah, we're wilding out on the kombucha. Yeah, so thanks for
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having
Thanks
me.
for letting
This
us
is
know
fun.
what you're up to. Thanks for telling us about so many different artists. We're definitely gonna try to get some of the artists you mentioned,
Yeah.
visual and like music related, on the show coming up. If anybody else has a show that they have coming up or music that they want to discuss, let us know. We'll have it up on the fridge.
On the fridge,
My
yes.
name's Nick.
My name's Daria.
This
I'm
is-
Emilio Garino. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming in.
Word.
That's
Alright.
it.